The story of Kemet, known today as Ancient Egypt, is more than grand pyramids and pharaohs. It's a story of resilience, cultural brilliance, and a legacy that spans continents and millennia. But what caused its fall? And how does its heritage shape the modern world? This is the untold story of Kemet's fall and its African legacy. Visuals. Animated recreation of the battle, with Persian soldiers advancing and sacred animals, cats, held as shields. In 525 BC, the Persians, led by King Cambyses II, faced the formidable Nubio-Kemetic army at Pelusium. In a bold and controversial move, the Persians used sacred animals revered in Kemet as shields, disorienting the defenders. This psychological warfare led to a decisive victory for Persia, marking the beginning of foreign domination in the Nile Valley. Kemet's influence didn't end with its conquest. Its people, the Kemetu, dispersed, spreading knowledge, traditions, and cultural practices across Africa. This migration helped preserve their legacy, embedding it in the heart of African identity. Genetic studies connecting modern Black African populations to ancient Egyptians. Visuals. Artistic depictions of Cleopatra, archival footage, and scholarly articles. For years, the heritage of figures like Cleopatra has been misrepresented. Despite popular portrayals, Cleopatra was part of a Greco-Macedonian dynasty, separate from the core African roots of Kemet. This distinction is crucial in understanding the true origins of the civilization. From language to art, the influence of Kemet resonates in African culture today. The spiritual practices, architectural techniques, and storytelling traditions are testaments to a civilization that refused to be forgotten. Modern African communities reclaiming and celebrating their Kemetic heritage. The fall of Kemet was not the end, it was the beginning of a new chapter. Its people, their spirit, and their knowledge shaped the course of history and continue to inspire the world. The legacy of Kemet is Africa's gift to humanity, a legacy we honor today. Kemet, the land of the black soil, is a term that was used to refer to ancient Egypt. Its history is rich and complex, spanning over 3,000 years. The significance of Kemet lies not only in its impressive pyramids, mummies, and pharaohs but also in its African roots. For centuries, scholars and historians have debated the origins of ancient Egypt, with some arguing that its culture was developed independently, while others claim that it was heavily influenced by African civilizations. The narrative of ancient Egypt has often been shrouded in misconceptions. One of the most common myths is that ancient Egypt was a European or Mediterranean civilization, rather than an African one. This misconception has been perpetuated by colonialist and Eurocentric perspectives, which have erased the African identity of Kemet. Many scholars have pointed out that the ancient Egyptians themselves described their homeland as Kemet, which is clearly an African term. The challenges surrounding Kemet's African identity are multifaceted. For instance, the ancient Greeks and Romans, who were heavily influenced by Egyptian culture, rarely acknowledged its African roots. This omission has had a lasting impact on Western historiography, leading many to view ancient Egypt as a non-African civilization. However, archaeological findings and historical records have consistently shown that ancient Egypt was, in fact, an African society. Kemet, or ancient Egypt, is a topic that has fascinated people for centuries. Its rich history, pyramids, and pharaohs have captured our imagination, but there's more to Kemet than just its grandeur. Its African roots are a crucial part of its identity, and understanding this connection is essential to grasping the true essence of ancient Egypt. The narrative around Kemet's African identity has been complex and often contentious. Many people still question whether ancient Egypt was truly African, and this debate has led to a lot of confusion. Some argue that ancient Egypt was a separate entity, distinct from the rest of Africa, while others claim that its African roots are undeniable. The truth lies in understanding the historical context and the cultural exchange that took place in the region. The marginalization of Kemet's African identity has had significant consequences. It has led to the erasure of African contributions to the development of ancient Egyptian culture and the overlooking of the cultural exchange between ancient Egypt and other African civilizations. This distorted narrative has also perpetuated racist stereotypes and reinforced the notion of a so-called Western civilization. Ancient Egypt was a major cultural and intellectual hub in Africa, with significant contributions to mathematics, medicine, architecture, and art. Its connections to Africa are evident in the archaeological record, with findings showing that ancient Egyptian trade and cultural exchange networks extended throughout the continent. The Kingdom of Kush, a powerful African kingdom that emerged in Nubia, was heavily influenced by Egyptian culture, but also maintained its own distinct identity. The cultural contributions of ancient Egypt to Africa and the world are undeniable. From the development of writing and mathematics to the construction of monumental architecture, ancient Egypt's legacy can be seen in many aspects of modern society. However, this legacy is often presented as if it emerged in a vacuum, disconnected from the broader African context. Recognizing Kemet's African roots is essential for understanding its true legacy. It allows us to appreciate the complexity and richness of ancient Egyptian culture and its connections to the broader African context. By acknowledging the African identity of Kemet, we can work towards a more nuanced and accurate understanding of history. The importance of Kemet's African roots cannot be overstated. It challenges the dominant narrative of Western civilization and highlights the significant contributions of African societies to human history. By exploring Kemet's history and its connections to Africa, we can gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of human culture and the interconnections between civilizations. In conclusion, understanding Kemet's history accurately is crucial for appreciating the rich cultural heritage of Africa and the world. By shedding light on the misconceptions and challenges surrounding Kemet's African identity, we can work towards a more nuanced understanding of the past. What are your thoughts on Kemet and ancient Egypt's African roots? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about ancient civilizations, be sure to check out my next video on the topic.